read that your #1 priority, and I'm going to just read this because I don't want to mess it up, will be to represent and advocate for Vermonters whose interests have been unfairly overlooked for too long.
Yes.
That one I'd love to have you explain to us what that's about.
And I'm gonna quote Tim Asch,
Okay.
who's the Senate.
Yes, I just told you he'll be on the show
Right.
in 3 days.
So he did an interview in which he said, you know, with every legislation that they pass, there are winners and there are losers. So my show, my work, the ethos of all my work has been advocating for those losers. And that I found has always been the average Vermonter.
So that's every bill that's passed, every policy that's...
Generally, when you have a loser, the loser is the average Vermonter.
Wow.
And so, and we know that because that's what the demographic crisis is all about.
Right.
And that's what I talked about, the devastation in southern Vermont especially is all about.
And why do you think the average Vermonter doesn't speak up and doesn't feel comfortable in making phone calls and fighting? Because I sort of agree with you that everything is about us. I consider myself an average Vermonter, just a little maybe noisier than most, but they don't fight, and I don't know what would make them fight and push back.
I think the big factor is the media, the local media.
Right.
A lot of times people do fight. They do write letters to the editor. They write comments. They're not published.
Right.
They're omitted. So it's not just acts of commission. It's also acts of omission that keep Vermonters out. So that's one thing. The second one is the widespread vilification of a certain point of view.
Right.
And so when you want to do that, when you want to portray yourself and say, hey, this is what I believe, and you have the forces of, let's say, Vermont Public Radio, VPR, or PBS, or all the various media, the editorials of all the newspapers from Rutland Herald to St. Albans Messenger, when you have all of them maligning this particular point of view that basically the vast majority of Vermonters share, you know, it kind of breaks your spirit.
Well, it does. You get